Hello, and welcome back to Project Rejectus. Today, we will be discussing how, cross-glacially, sociality will evolve in the animals. Starting on Crescentia, the first candidate for sociality is the Vagi. Although the desert is a harsh environment with little food, as the desert grows across the continent, more plants are able to grow with the new resources, allowing them to support bigger groups and sizes. Their descendants, the Konono, while very similar to their ancestors, have some key differences other than their bigger groups. Their shells now help to store food and water for later, similar to camels on Earth. These successful herbivores quickly spread across the desert, eventually moving into the plains and forests. Their descendants, the Lutus, would spread across the forests and plains, acting as fast grazers. They held a new advantage, as their large groups meant most predators wouldn't try to hunt them, only attacking the Lutus when they're alone. In this much cooler environment, their skin flaps have become useless to them, but instead of getting rid of them, they instead repurpose them, using them to communicate with each other when predators are nearby or as mating displays. While the Lutus evolved, another animal had started its own journey to sociality. The Ligtro had found success by hunting in pairs. Having soon abandoned their old hunting methods, the Agilus instead chased their prey through the trees in pairs, usually with their mates or family members. They adopted a bipedal stance to help like other predators. These predators, however, would soon have to adapt with the scorching heat and growing desert. Their forest homes soon turned into vast plains, forcing them to change their descendants. The Agilibus had changed their colors to match the plains with spots to camouflage themselves. They now moved in packs of 10, usually hunting Lutus and other small animals by pouncing on them. Their shell became spiked to defend themselves from rival packs, keeping their back safe. These packs proved effective against the Lutus. If their numbers didn't scare off their predators, running was their only option. In response to this issue, the Lutus soon became bigger and bulkier to defend themselves. Their descendants, the Koros, had adapted spiky scales, making it harder to bite into them. Their beaks evolved two small horns to defend the front, while any attack from behind was met with a powerful kick. This well-defended creature was now safe from predators, until the Agilibus responded. While they couldn't hurt the Koros now, that wasn't going to stop them becoming bulkier to take more hits. The Quatsinis had made use of their tails while their ancestors used them mostly for balance. The Quatsinis changed that, making their tails longer, the claw, their tails, and now attacked as a stinger, allowing them to use every limb to attack and help avoid the spikes of the Koros. These smarter predators specialized in hunting megafauna. And that finishes it for Crescentia. Now, we will travel south to see how sociality evolved on Glanum. Unlike Crescentia, due to the stability of Glanum's ecosystem, sociality didn't begin on the mainland, but rather the island of Tertus. Starting with the Misdentis, due to their ancestors, they already had some basic social behaviors, giving them an advantage compared to other animals. Their descendants, the Vertebrem, had developed a full set of teeth. Acting as scavengers, they traveled in small groups searching for small prey or carcasses. They acted as the vultures of these islands. Some went further into hunting small prey. The Ferrandi developed claws to help them dig. They spent their days searching for burrows, usually attacking animals such as Aramis. Their greater numbers could overwhelm them easily, allowing these animals plenty of food. The Vertebrem's other descendant, the Arga, went into a completely different path, becoming much taller. Their front limbs became long arms. They used to grab fruit and leaves. Other herbivores couldn't reach other than their size. However, their only real defense was their surprising speed they used to escape predators. As these animals emerged, it gave the Aramis a lot of competition. As the Ferrandi was now hunting them daily, they responded by making their own social behaviors to fight back. The Malculter had swarmed in groups, making big complex burrows with their families. They communicated with loud screams using their new throat pouch. They adapted their bottom mouth purely for digging to make their large burrows. One of their descendants found success in this strategy, becoming much larger. The Miscus couldn't fit in their burrows anymore. They adapted to a new niche, acting similar to pigs. They used their long mouth to dig up any food in the snow together with their herds. The Malculter's other descendant was the Doma. Having taken the social strategy, the farthest moved to the rivers, where they acted much like beavers. Their top two mouths developed beaks to help cut through wood in order to create their dams, while their long bottom mouth acted similar to a hand to carry the wood back with them. And now, it's time for our final continent Sepses, about 6 more animals to go until we're done. Starting with the Kerbra, they went the farthest out of any animal, at first sticking in large groups to defend themselves. They made large underground structures to making permanent homes for their families. This soon evolved into Sociality, the Mentat. The queen started their life leaving their home hive. They would travel until finding a mate. Once they finished, they then burrowed into the ground, where they then laid hundreds of eggs around themselves, guarding them for weeks until they finally hatched into workers and drones. As soon as the workers hatch, they immediately start expanding their hive's burrow, making multiple tunnels. They then reinforced with the glue-like substance they made, creating multiple rooms for storage and nursing the young. After collecting enough resources, the queen will start to produce soldiers. Being much bigger and stronger than the workers, the soldiers spend the entire day gathering plant matter before returning to the hive. They aggressively chase out any competition nearby, making sure the hive stays safe. Their shells have expanded to defend themselves better from any animal, even if they're a lot bigger than the Mentats. The Mentats weren't the only social animals, as a small descendant of the Monterex soon emerged called the Paven had adapted their front limbs for digging, making them bipedal. They traveled in large groups, usually hunting smaller herbivores. They soon diversified into multiple different niches, such as the tester. These small, odd-looking animals made their top arm extremely strong. They exclusively ate Mentats, being the only animals able to break their hard shells. These small creatures had small family groups of 5 to 8 members, eating from multiple Mentat hives each day to sustain themselves. The Hamarostrum, however, went in the opposite direction, becoming much bigger. They specialized for eating fish with a single river, having multiple packs with their own territory. They gained a long singular claw to help spearfish and fight against any enemies threatening them. And that's it, we have just finished. Personally, this was one of my favorite episodes to make, and a special shout out Dinosaur Die for making all the prompts. A link to his channel will be linked in the comments. But that's all for now. I'll see you in the next episode.